From hunger to digestion, GI hormone is the key, and they're very important for your exam also. So let us dive in the topic. Number one, gastrin hormone. Source is G cells. And what are the location? Location is antrum of the stomach and duodenum. Action, gastrin hormone. Remember gastrin hormone, gastric acid. It means it will increase gastric proton secretion, means SCL secretion. Number one. Number two, increases growth of gastric mucosa. So this is called as trophic action of the hormone. Trophic. Third is increased GI motility. Number one, acid, trophic action, and motility. All three actions. And how it is regulated? It increased by stomach distension. Number one, alkalization, amino acid, peptide, and vagal stimulation via gastrin releasing peptide. So when we are relaxed, acetylcholine is released, vagus is stimulated. So vagus will release GRP, gastrin releasing peptide, and this will release gastrin hormone. On the other hand, it is decreased by pH which is less than 1.5 because it is already causing acidity. So if pH is less than 1.5, automatically feedback mechanism, gastrin become low. Some important points. It can be increased by chronic PPI use, proton pump inhibitor. If someone is taking antacid like PIs and all, automatically because of the feedback, it will increase. Then it increases in the chronic atrophic gastritis. For example, if atrophic gastritis is due to H. pylori or in gastrinoma, also called as Jollinger-Ellison syndrome. Second hormone is somatostatin. It is released by delta cell or D cell in pancreatic islet and GI mucosa. And somatostatin is called as universal inhibitory hormone. It inhibits almost every hormone. So whatever it does, it always decreases. For example, it decreases gastric acid and pepsinogen secretion. Number two, it decreases pancreatic and small intestinal fluid secretion. Number three, it decreases gallbladder contraction. Number four, it decreases insulin and glucagon release. This is in the GIT and in the hypothalamus and pancreas axis. Do you remember? Growth hormone, inhibitory hormone is somatostatin. Somatostatin is also called as growth hormone, inhibitory hormone. Why? Because it also decreases growth hormone. Somatostatin, okay, it decreases growth hormone and it is increased by acid and decreased by vagal stimulation. So it inhibits secretion of various hormone. So it increases somatostasis. It increases somatostasis. Somatostatin, okay, decreases growth hormone. That is why octreotide is analog. Octreotide is the analog of what? Somatostatin. It is used to treat acromegaly, carcinoid syndrome, VIPoma, and varicose bleeding. So it is somatostatin causes somatostasis. That is why whenever growth hormone is more, like in case of acromegaly, it will cause it will cause what? It will cause inhibition of growth hormone. So it can be given as a treatment. Number three, very important, is cholecystokinin, released from eye cell, duodenum and jejunum. Cholecystokinin, full name is CCKPZ. Cholecystokinin pancreozymin. So name is helping in remembrance of all the names. Cholecystokinin increases gallbladder contraction and increases sphincter of Oddi relaxation. Gallbladder contraction, sphincter of Oddi relaxation, increases pancreatic secretion and inhibits gastric emptying. Please remember all the four actions are very important for the exam and how they are increased whenever we take fat. So more fatty acid and amino acid. Okay, some new points. It acts on neural muscarinic pathway to cause pancreatic secretion. So it acts on the receptor of cholecystokinin, acts on neural muscarinic pathway. Is this clear? That is why it is very, very important hormone. Now, secretin, the first hormone to be discovered in the body is secretin by Baylis and Starling. We know that. And this secretin is actually natural antacid. Natural antacid. Just by one word, you can remember all the factor. S cell in the duodenum releases secretin. It is antacid, so it will increase pancreatic bicarbonate secretion and decreases gastric acid secretion, increases bile secretion. So bile secretion, bicarbonate secretion is increased and decreases gastric acid secretion. It is antacid. And how it is increased? Whenever there is increased acid, fatty acid in the lumen of duodenum, in the lumen of duodenum. So it increases bicarbonate so that it can neutralize gastric acid in the duodenum, allowing pancreatic enzyme to work properly. Next is GIP. GIP. Initially, we say it is glucose, it is gastric inhibitory peptide. So initially, we say GIP means gastric inhibitory peptide. At that time, we were not knowing the endocrine function. We only know that it decreases some acid-like substance. But now we know actual main function is what? It is incretin hormone. Actually, there are two incretin hormone. One is GIP, other is GLP, glucagon-like peptide from L cell, and both increases insulin release from beta cell. So GLP and GIP are called as incretin hormone. So whenever we take oral food, whenever we take oral glucose, more of insulin is released in comparison to IV. Why? Because orally when we take food, it will act on K cell and L cell to release GLP and GIP. That increases more and more what? Insulin from beta cell. It also have not GLP, GIP also have exocrine function of decreasing gastric acid secretion. Okay, and it is regulated by increase by fatty acid, amino acid, and oral glucose. Now, motilin hormone is released from MO cell. It is not M cell. M cells are microfold. MO cell in the small intestine produces migratory motor complex, which is also called as housekeeping wave. They are also called as housekeeping waves, and they increased in the fasting state. So whenever we are fasting, it needs cleaning of the GIT. So they are called as housekeeping wave. And whenever we give azithromycin, why it causes diarrhea? Why? Because they have motilin receptor agonist. So azithro and erythromycin can cause diarrhea by activating these motilin receptor. Okay, and they can use to stimulate sometimes intestinal peristalsis. It can be used also as a therapeutic dose so that it can increase intestinal motility. Then VIP. Okay, source parasympathetic ganglion in the sphincters, gallbladder, and small intestine. Now it increases intestinal water and electrolyte secretion, increases relaxation of the intestinal smooth muscles and sphincter. Actually, VIP and nitric oxide. VIP, there is no VIP, there are no VIP in the word. No VIP. Remember, no VIP. No is nitric oxide, VIP is vasointestinal peptide. Both are vasodilator. Clear? Both will relax. So, nitric oxide also increases smooth muscle relaxation, including lower esophageal sphincter. That is why when there is some mutation or whenever there is a problem with the nitric oxide, it causes achalasia because LES tone will increase. Achalasia cardia because of loss of nitric oxide secretion. So always read nitric oxide along with the VIP. Few things are common, few things are different. The mechanism is common, but the action are different in different location. And VIP are increased by distension and vagal stimulation, decreased by adrenergic input. Now, what is VIPoma? VIPoma, it is not by alpha cell of pancreas, not by beta cell of pancreas. So we say non-alpha, non-beta pancreatic tumor that secrete VIP. And sometimes they ask in the examination that what is VDHA? VDHA or VDHA is associated with which type of tumor? The answer is VIPoma. What is VDHA? Watery diarrhea, hypokalemia, achlorhydria syndrome. Okay, so these questions are asked in MBBS also, and for PG preparation also. These are very, very high yielding point. I'm giving in very less time. Then ghrelin. Ghrelin in the stomach, it increases the appetite, so called as ghrelin of stomach. Ghrelin, it will increase the appetite. It increases in the fasting state, decreases by the food. So whenever we are in the fasting state, ghrelin will increase, hunger will increase. In contrast to leptin, if you remember, leptin decreases hunger, ghrelin increases hunger. And sometimes it is also associated with Prader-Willi syndrome, which decreases after gastric bypass surgery.